I'm Sanders with Late Night Severson. How are you, Jay?
Not too bad, Richard. A busy day.
We're going to find out where Dion and a couple of other pro ballers are going to play.
We'll get to Dion in a second. First, we're going to talk about the guys that went before him. Today was the day for the best college football players in the country. The day the big boys came calling. Draft day for the NFL, and this is what the first 4 picks look like. Troy Aikman, you know, the Cowboys signed him for $11 million. They better take him first. They did. The big fella out of Michigan State going to Green Bay. Barry Sanders, the Heisman Trophy winner, on his way to the Motor City. And Derek Thomas from Alabama heading to Kansas City. Then it was time for the 5th pick, and it's time for prime time to come into the picture. Deion Sanders will be playing his ball in Atlanta for the Falcons. The North Fort Myers native termed the best cornerback in the draft since 1976. The 2-time All-American at Florida State. Also was returning punts. We'll wait to see if he's going to be doing that in Atlanta. But speaking about Atlanta, Deion made his first appearance in the Southern City this evening. Deion meeting the media along with the fans. And already Deion is planting the seeds with us media guys that he wants to get along.
But I am him. You reporters, you know, I had a great relationship with reporters through the past years. And you either can make me or break me. And I'm going to do what I can to let you make me. Okay? So let's have a good relationship now.
Okay, Deion. Now the 6th pick belonged to the Bucks. Tampa Bay opting for some defense with his first-round selection. And they went up to Nebraska land to get big number 89, Broderick Thomas from Nebraska. The defensive end linebacker, 6'5", 260, and this guy can run. 98 tackles this past season for Nebraska. 53 of those were solo efforts. Miami had the 9th overall pick in round 1. And the Finns, instead of going for defense, went for some offense in a rather surprising pick. They took Florida State's Sammy Smith, the running back at 6'3", 225 pounds, can also motor. He had over 2,500 yards rushing, also can catch the ball, worked well with the Miami scheme. And Sammy Smith is glad to be a Dolphin.
Well, I had been hearing all week that it would probably be Miami, and I talked with Coach Shula a couple of times this week, and right before they picked me, he called and told me that they were going to pick me, and, you know, I just felt good then. A sigh of relief went through my body, and I'm just happy.
I'd be happy, too, to be drafted in the first round. Other first-rounders from the state of Florida, Trace Armstrong going to the Bears, Bill Hawkins heading out west to the Rams, David Williams will be down in Houston with the Houston Ball Club, otherwise Luis Oliver will be in Miami, and Cleveland Gary will make his home out in Los Angeles. On next to the ice, the division playoffs continuing with a couple of games. In Boston, the Bruins had to beat Montreal. They could just pack the skates away. We'll take a look from Boston Garden. First period, no score, but Randy Burridge is the man for the garbage. 1-0 Bruins. The Canadians will tie it, though. Russ Cortinell with the cannonading blast. They made it 1-1. But in the second, Cam Neely will get what turned out to be the gamer. Boston goes on to beat Montreal 3-2. Montreal leads the best of 7, 3-1. And in the Patrick division, Philadelphia beats Pittsburgh. That series tied 2 games apiece. On the links, Ken Green won the Greater Greensboro Open. Green earned $180,000 for his 2-shot win over John Houston. Meanwhile, on the LPGA Tour, Betsy King beat Lynn Adams in sudden death to capture the US&X Classic. Locally on the links, the Kelly Greens Futures Classic wrapped up today, and Kim Gardner and Jennifer McCurrick were tied till they came to 18, but Gardner had her troubles, had a penalty stroke. She would take a bogey on the hole, and McCurrick on 18 just had the 2-putt, but she almost rolls it home for the birdie effort. She would tap in for the win by 1 shot. It was worth $3,300. Time now for some basketball, and you know, it's been a long year for Boston. Larry Bird out much of the season, but the boys in green still are going to make the playoffs with their win over the Charlotte this afternoon. The Birdman checking it out from the sidelines. He liked what he saw. Kevin McHale down low would have a big first half. Number 32 had 22 first-half points, 28 for the game. Celts up by 9 at the intermission. And in the second half, a guy from Iowa lit it up. Kevin Gamble had 32. The Celtics beat the Hornets in the Garden 120-110. And out in Los Angeles, the big fella, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, playing his last regular season game. The old man sitting in the rocking chair this afternoon in the Forum. Now, you know, Kareem has got a lot of gifts, but today his teammates and the Lakers, well, they gave him a 1989 Rolls-Royce to go along with everything else. And yes, the Celtics, the arch rivals of them, the Lakers did end up winning. They beat Seattle 121-117. Kareem would throw in 10. Elsewhere, Philadelphia winners against Washington. Cleveland beat Chicago by 6. Detroit, no problems with Atlanta. Dallas has taken out Denver, and Portland needs to win that game if they're getting the playoffs against Sacramento. And we'll finish with the national pastime and the amazing Nolan Ryan. Today in Toronto, big number 34 came just 2 outs away from career no-hitter number 6. A little nippy north of the border today, and Ryan, though, was just throwing smoke. Just watch some of these pitches and listen to the grunts. Yeah, you gotta like that. Through 8 innings, the big right-hander had 12 Ks and hadn't given up a hit, but in the 9th with 1 out, Nelson Liriano, a guy that was hitting .208 with a dastardly deed, and the gem is gone. Ryan throws a 1-hitter, his 10th of his career. Rangers still win it, though, 4-1. The American League scoreboard looks like this. Kansas City bombs Boston. Baltimore shuts out Minnesota. It's New York 5-0 winners against the Tribe. Seattle by 4 against Chicago. Detroit, an easy winner against Milwaukee, and Oakland shuts out California. The National League, New York by a pair against the Cubbies. Pittsburgh by a pair against Philadelphia. Atlanta 9-4 winners. Houston 5-2 winners. Montreal no problems with St. Louis, and those dreaded Dodgers get by my Giants. That one in extra innings.
I think after basketball, football, hockey, baseball, and golf, you just left out roller derby. That was it.
Yeah, I would have shown that if I could have found it.
Thank you.